This is a First Alert Weather Special Report.
Welcome to a CBS News New York special report. I'm Cindy Hsu. We're on a red alert as a winter storm continues to blanket the area. Taking a live look outside, this is our view from Mobile 2. Messy out there, but let's start our first alert weather coverage with some of the major headlines happening in our area. We can expect up to a foot of snow in some places. Governor Phil Murphy spoke to us live on CBS News New York at 8 a.m. and urged drivers to stay off the roads and issued a commercial vehicle ban on several interstate highways. Here in the city, Mayor Adams ordered all public schools to do remote learning today, but it hasn't been without problems. NJ Transit says service in and out of Penn Station is subject to 60-minute delays. The snowstorm has canceled hundreds of flights at all local airports, 105 at JFK, 225 at LaGuardia, and 142 at Newark Liberty. We have live team coverage across the area. John Elliott and Tony Sadiku have been keeping us updated all morning long on totals and the storm's track. Christina Fan is live in Bergen County, New Jersey, where they have gotten about a half a foot of snow so far. Elijah Westbrook is in the city, where we're seeing a lot more snow coverage on the streets and in the park. And Christy Kalesian is in Mobile 2 with more on how things are looking on the roads. Let's kick things off with John Elliott in the Weather Center.
Cindy, did you see those big firs that is Christy would drive by them? There's so much weight in this snow. That's my concern. So here's our front door. This is West 57th Street. It's just wet. I want to get kind of a sense of what's going on right now. So I want to send it up to meteorologist Tony Sadiku. He is in Mount Kisco, where it started snowing sooner than it did here in the city, and snowfall rates have been pretty significant. Wow, it's a winter wonderland. Tony, what's going on?
No doubt, Mount Kisco blanketed in white, and we've seen snowfall here, I want to say, since about 2 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, decent rates. It's been coming down at times 1 inch to 2 an hour, and you really can't shovel it fast enough. We've seen plows go through here. I want to say like every 15 minutes or so, crews have been working to clear some of the sidewalks. You see a gentleman over there doing that too. I mean, it's been just non-stop throughout the day, just trying to keep up with this. You don't want it to pile up too much, because then you really got a big chore. And as I try to navigate through this, you can really see how the snow is piled up right the side of the road. Once you get into the street, it's a slushy mess as cars are trying to navigate. You see the train moving there. Just a tough day if you're trying to wait for the train or the bus. The bus stop is right over there as well. And you can see some of the vehicles that are just completely covered in the snow. This is one of those days you got somewhere to be. If it's not urgent, perhaps you wait it out, and then you really got to give yourself extra time to clear off the windshield, the tops of the cars as well. You definitely don't want to drive with all that snow on the top of the vehicle, because you know, if you're behind that snow comes coming at you. That's a hazardous situation for sure. So it's white, almost whiteout condition. The wind isn't blowing so much, it's not blowing snow, but the visibility is down for sure, and we've seen significant snowfall totals. I want to show you some of those numbers right now, just give you an idea and the types of snowfall totals that we've seen here in and around the area, and it's impressive. Big time numbers where we've seen snowfall totals, I want to say as much as half a foot, perhaps a foot in some areas, and the snow still coming on down. Let's go to radar, where you can see across parts of Westchester County, it's all covered. In some areas getting it a little bit heavier than others, but if you're navigating the roads, this is what you got to contend with for at least another few hours, at least in this part of town. Clears up a little bit the further north you go, parts of Sullivan and Ulster. We knew this storm would track further south, so it's really going to be parts of Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, into the city, Long Island, that would really get hammered, and we're certainly getting blasted by snow here, and the visibility is being impacted, greatly reduced. You see the numbers down there. Look at, these are numbers where you've got visibility lower than a mile in many areas across the city to half mile. Places like Huntington, you're down to 0.3 of a mile. Perhaps in some areas it's over a mile, but it's just one of those days where it's just tough to navigate. We're urging folks, as officials are, to stay off the roads as much as possible, because it's just tough driving for sure. And thankfully, John, it looks like we should see the snow lightening up as we get into the afternoon and perhaps somehow try to clear out our skies by sunset.
And Tony, look at the guy behind you. I don't know if Walter Rella, the TV fella, can look at how much snow is on top of his car. I mean, I don't want to signal this, point him out. We won't show his face, but this is the kind of stuff. And I know the drag is if you. Oh, well, now he's in trouble. You don't want to scratch the top of your car, but you've got to knock that stuff off. Oh, well, here, don't show his face. All right, thanks, Tony. That poor guy's going to get mad at me. I'm just saying, you've got to try to get that off. So I turned the satellite off here. So this is the tail end of it. Sullivan, Ulster, you're finally at Warren County getting a break. Let's turn on the Futurecast. So between 11 and lunchtime, we're hoping to get rid of this stuff. By this afternoon, not only is it out of here, we should see some sun. But you've got so much work to do. It is so heavy to move and manage. So that's the next chapter, just safely navigating the next few hours. And then by tomorrow morning, hey, no more snow. But remember, we still have got coastal flooding concerns, half-foot inundation, light green, up to 2 in the dark shaded. Part of that is the nor'easter part of this with these pile-up winds. But then remember, the winds will shift. So now, my concern with all of those trees weighed down is, God forbid, anybody loses power. Watch what happens to the temperatures. Wind chills overnight tonight. Nothing sweet about that 16. Wind chills tomorrow morning, even in the city, 16, single-digit wind chills. And again, right around here, that's where we're seeing that some of the worst banding. So, I mean, power outages could be a big threat just to overall safety, comfort, and then it's just going to stay cool. Real quickly, to plan ahead on Valentine's Day, Cindy, that's dry. There is another system that comes on board Thursday, not quite as much snow. Just please be careful. Between the visibility and the deteriorating conditions, want to make sure, if you can, just hunker down as long as you can, and as you start moving it, it's very heavy stuff, so take care of yourself. Back to you.
Your first alert traffic. Here's CBS 2's traffic reporter Guy Stanier with the latest. Hi, Guy.
Good morning, Cindy. Lots of issues in the tri-state area this morning, as you can imagine. Starting with some video shot just a short time ago from one of our CBS colleagues. This is in New Rochelle. A jackknife truck had all lanes blocked on the southbound New England Thruway approaching exit 16. One lane has reopened. However, we have heavy delays back to exit 17. Checking mass transit today, Metro North running a modified schedule. PATH has a full suspension between Hoboken World Trade as well as Newark to World Trade. This is due to a power issue. New York Waterway is cross-honoring if you want to get on a boat. New Jersey Transit is running with a 1-hour delay in and out of New York's Penn Station due to FDNY activity in one of the Hudson River tunnels. Also, NJ Transit cross-honoring tickets system-wide. In addition to the rails, we have issues for air travelers this morning. Here are the current numbers. LaGuardia, 416 cancellations, 72 delays. Newark Liberty is showing 262 cancellations and 51 delays. JFK, 183 flights canceled and 120 delays. Alternate side parking is suspended for snow removal, but you still have to pay the meters. Cindy, back to you.
Guy, thank you. And now let's head to New Jersey. CBS 2's Christina Fan is in Mahwah in Bergen County with an update on how things are there. Hi, Christina.
Good morning, Cindy. So much snow all around us, and it's been so long since we've really received this volume, so it's a little blinding. Although beautiful, it's a little hard on the eyes, so you might want to consider breaking your sunglasses out if you're going for some afternoon sledding later. We have just been pummeled here in Bergen County this morning, easily about 6 inches here on the ground. Want to turn your attention to the car dealership you see across the street. We've seen the workers there since early this morning. We're talking 4 a.m., 5 a.m. out with their shovels, out with their salt, out with their plows, and you can see really they barely made a dent. You don't see any blacktop over there on the parking lot. Also want to direct your attention now to Route 17 right in front of us. We've been watching as these caravans of plow trucks have been coming, 8 to 10 of them, 3 to a lane, going every 30 to 40 minutes, but it's just been so hard to keep up. They were doing well for 2 or 3 hours or so, but again, just overwhelmed as the snow keeps falling. Governor Murphy was on the phone with us earlier giving us an update. He says about 2,500 pieces of snow removal equipment are up and running around the state, and if you must go out, he is asking that you steer clear of their crews so they can get this work done quickly, and they really do need all the help they can get. We're told state offices are closed too. The governor really just asking everyone to stay home if possible, and you can see the traffic has really died down since the morning commute. Very sporadically, we'll see clusters of cars. For the most part, it does seem like people are taking that advice to heart. For now, reporting live from Mahwah in New Jersey, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Hey, Christina, so earlier in the morning you were showing us that this is snowball snow. So I was wondering, have you been like throwing it at the camera guys?
I have not been throwing it at Vince, but this is so addictive. I think you guys have been saying, earlier, this is really the perfect weather to make snowballs. I mean, I'm not even very good at this. Have no hand strength, but it's so easy to do. And before Vince throws one at me, I'm going to toss it back to you, Cindy.
Oh my goodness, look where we started. All right, Christina, thank you so much. And now let's head out to Elijah Westbrook, who is live in Columbus Circle with more on the snow we are seeing there in the city. Hey, Elijah.
Hey, good morning, Cindy. Well, I think I have a nicer crew. They're not throwing snowballs at me just yet, at least. Live look right now at Columbus Circle where, yeah, the snow just keeps on coming down. I will say it's a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more comfortable, and that's because it seems like the wind has simmered down just a bit. I mean, the combination between the wind gusts and the snow really made it uncomfortable at certain times of the day. But this is what we've been talking about for most of the morning, just this constant snowfall at this time. You can see the sidewalks, they are very messy. Same thing with the streets, so be careful as you navigate your way around town. I mean, we know that the city's Office of Emergency Management has been issuing travel advisories. In fact, there's one that's in effect until 6 o'clock this evening. They've been having about 700 salt spreaders out there treating the roadways, and then they've deployed about 2,000 plow trucks to make sure that the roads are clear so that these cars you see now are able to smoothly make their way around town. Now, Cindy, I know you mentioned at the top of the show that, of course, it's a remote learning day for city public school students, but they are experiencing some issues. At last check, it still seems to be the case. So we will be monitoring that situation. But as I mentioned probably about an hour ago at this point, if they have the opportunity to go outside and get some fresh air, why not? I mean, just such an incredible day to do so. We have gotten much more snow than we did just about a month ago. So I don't know. Let's just see if things pick back up.
I think that's
in the
great
hours
advice.
ahead, but you never know.
The kids are going to love you because I'm sure they're like, oh, this computer's not working. Let's just go out and sled all day.
Let's just go outside. Right, exactly.
All right, Elijah, live from Columbus
I'd do the
Circle.
same.
Thanks so much. All right, Christy Kalesian has been traveling the roads all morning across New York and New Jersey. Let's get out to her in Florham Park. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Cindy. Right now we're on Route 10 West, and I can tell you it's normally a bustling part of the Essex, Morris County area, but right now parking lots are empty. You just drove past the gym. The car dealerships, everything is empty right now. So no cars in these parking lots. They're all being plowed out right now. Looks like a lot of businesses are closed, unfortunately, for good reason, I would say. But the roads here, I could say, now the plows and salt trucks are catching up. But I want to alert you to what we saw earlier when we got off of 287, which itself was pretty treacherous. But just getting off the ramp, I'm not sure if you can see this on your screen right now, but we saw a car spin out on the ramp right there. You could see that it was probably going a little hard on the brakes, not sure, but I was warning you all earlier about how some of these ramps, you just don't know how well they are plowed, because a lot of these plows are out there on the highways and they don't get off on the ramps. So that was a little alarming to see. And that wasn't the first time we saw that Honda spin out. We actually saw it earlier this morning as well when it was on 287, so it happened twice, unfortunately. But looks like the car was still moving. The back of it was pretty wrecked, though. And actually, when we drove past it, I think I saw a cracked windshield. So definitely something to keep in mind. The drivers look like they were in good spirits, but yeah, just something to keep in mind. You just don't know how these ramps are, or even these side roads. We were in Florham Park, as you mentioned. It was also still pretty wet and pretty heavy with snow and white out there, I could say. Not as wet, it's more white out there. So please be safe out there, be easy on the brakes, and take your time when driving. Take that extra time. It's definitely worth it. And we're live in Mobile 2, Christy Clichin, CBS 2 News.
Yeah, stay safe, Christy. Thank you. And many of you are sending us what the snow looks like in your area. In Brewster, New York, you can see some birdhouses totally covered in snow. But as you can see, they're out there. They're not stopping the birds. And in the city, slush on the streets as people step outside. This is video from Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And take a look at a tree in a yard in Wappingers Falls, New York. And it was earlier this morning, very picturesque with lights and snow on the branches. Nice shots. And we want to see what it looks like near you. Share your pictures and videos with us, and you can see them on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or head to cbsnewyork.com/photos. Thank you for joining us for this special First Alert weather report. We're going to continue to follow the latest on the storm on CBS News New York, CBS News at noon, and online at cbsnewyork.com. I'm Cindy Hsu. Stay safe, warm, and hopefully inside.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.